Welcome back to our YouTube, honey. These are 16 ways you are ruining that hair. The first thing that is absolutely ruining your hair is making too big of drastic color changes too often. When I see on TikTok or just clients that have just destroyed their hair, so often it is making massive unrealistic changes with the hair color in too close of time. There's a really famous TikTok video that went very viral last year where this girl is like just pulling out these huge melted off chunks of her hair from an at-home hair color.
That's what's came out so far. So I quit pulling it out. That was just one little tug.
I think just going from like dark to bleach and tone to dark and then trying to go light again after that, it's a no. Too big of drastic color changes, that's a first thing that's just going to ruin your hair. Too much sun exposure for your hair. It doesn't really matter what your hair color is or what your hair texture is. If you are repeatedly just exposing your hair to the sun all the time, day in and day out, your hair is going to get drier, it's going to get more damage, you're going to have more split ends, your color is not going to stay as long, your haircuts won't last as long because the quality of your hair is going to suffer, the integrity of your hair isn't going to be as strong, so the shape's going to get a little bit more like So it's important that you're giving yourself a little hat, maybe putting a towel over your hair, doing some sort of sunscreen on the hair. There's a lot of different sunscreen sprays for hair and scalp. You really want to protect your hair from the sun. That's important. Even just like if you're going to lay out, cover up the hair, cover up your face. I know you 20-year-olds are all about it right now. Trust me, you guys, you're not going to want to do that. Cover up your hair, cover up your scalp, please. The other thing would be that you're detangling from the root down as opposed to the ends up. Spray in a leave-in conditioner or detangler. You gotta have a wet brush because it's literally designed for you to brush your hair wet and just detangle from the bottom up so you're not ripping out your hair. So, managing your stress, getting into some mindfulness, some meditation, doing things that bring more calm and peace into your life, it might not cure your hair, but it certainly won't hurt it. Because it's like Vice President Kamala Harris says, honey, you did not just fall out of a coconut tree. Your hair exists from the context in with which it came.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
You know, one little meditation isn't going to help you just on day one, but really trying to keep calm, do things that kind of mitigate stress and take care of yourself, that's always going to be a good thing for your overall health. This is another way to mess up your hair. We are never flat ironing or curling our hair with a heat tool, with like an iron, like a flat iron or a curling iron, when your hair has any wetness in it. It has to be bone dry, all the way dry. If you're not sure, bust out a blow dryer and just hit your head with the blow dryer really quick. You gotta make sure that you don't have any wetness when you're touching. If you hear any sizzle, that's not good. We don't want this. That's too much pressure on the hair. So just hit it with a little blow dryer. That's really important. You're not asking questions to your hairstylist. I think a lot of times, when you're in the chair, you've just had your color done, you've just had your cut done, you've been there for an hour, 2, 3 hours, you're just ready to go. You're not asking any questions like, how did you style that? Can you help me learn how to style this? Try making a blow dry appointment or a style appointment with your hairdresser and book it as a lesson. Like, I want to learn how to style my hair. How do you style it? I want to learn how to do to my hair what you do to the hair. Hairstylists will help you with that. They will teach you. I mean, you got to pay for a blow dry, but they will give you a blow dry lesson. I think a huge mistake that we're making is just not asking enough questions. We're too embarrassed to ask. We want to act like we know everything or, oh, I'll figure it out later. Ask your hairdresser. They want to help you learn how to do your hair. They want to make sure that you know how to style the cut. But it's like, if you don't ask and if you don't make that a priority, the hairdresser's not going to know. So ask your hairdresser for help. Ask them to teach you how to style your hair. So I think having open communication, realistic expectations with yourself and your hairdresser and vice versa is so important to unlocking the potential and the ease and the beauty of our hair. When your hair is wet, it's at its most fragile. So when you get out of the shower, if you're just taking a towel to it and just going like this, and really doing like this sort of action on your ends, this is your oldest hair. It's been on the head for so long. And I know I talk about that all the time on here, but it's important. This hair is a lot more fragile. Your ends are a lot more fragile than your new growth. So either using like a microfiber towel or like an old cotton t-shirt and just gently drying the hair, that is going to help your hair stay so much healthier. Your haircuts will last longer. Your hair will just feel better. So just overly and aggressively drying the hair, just it's not, that's another way that you're messing up your hair. It's also switching your hair colorist too often. Going from one person to another person to another person to another person every time you get your color done. I think that a lot of folks don't realize the strength of the chemicals that we are working with in the salon. Bleach will literally melt your hair off if it is not applied correctly, if it's not retouched correctly. If you put like a high lift hair color over hennaed hair, it is not going to go well. Like, serious things can happen. And when clients take that upon themselves to do it at home, that is a huge thing. Like, doing corrective color on your hair at home is risky. I'm not saying that it will snap your hair off. And there are people who have learned to do at-home highlights. I see it on TikTok and YouTube all the time. People that are like, I'm sick of spending all this money at the salon, so I'm learning how to do it myself at home. The people who that works on, it's like when their hair is already naturally blonde and they're doing blonde highlights, or when they're not moving their hair color that much. And even then, it might look good the first time or two, but the second that they overlap some bleach highlights that they didn't see that they're re-highlighting something that's already been really highlighted, they're gonna melt some hair off and then they're gonna know. So sometimes it can be okay, sometimes it's not okay, but it's risky. So just understand that when you're doing your hair at home, especially if you're lightening it or changing the color, it is risky. Like if you're going from brown to red, or if you want to go from blonde to red or red to blonde, whatever, changing your hair color or going lighter at home is very risky. And it's a great way to up your hair and cost yourself so much money having it fixed at the salon. Another way that we're ruining our hair is extensions. Now, don't freak out. I already know the extension police on social media are going to come for me for this. Not all extensions are going to ruin your hair. What's really damaging and dangerous to hair is when we're doing extensions for length, not for density, but for length, and you wear them for too long. If you want to put in some rows or a full enclosure, a couple clip-ins, some K-tips, any sort of system for length, have at it, be my guest. In fact, one of my closest friends right now is rocking the shit out of it. She gets really thick, really long extensions. She gets like beaded rows. She gets like 3 or 4, and they look amazing on her. But she rocks them for only 4 weeks at a time. Then she gets them taken out, and then she'll get them put back in. And I have personally taken her extensions out for her, and I've gone through her scalp over the last like 6 months. No traction alopecia, no pulling, no tugging. Her hair is not getting fine. It's as thick today as it was when they started. But she is meticulous about sleeping with her hair up or low braids. She's meticulous about making sure that the hair is not matting, that she doesn't have traveling hairs, and she's meticulous about every 4 weeks taking it out and then putting it back in. When you do extensions for length, and then you let them sit for more than 4 weeks, it's just too much regrowth and you're gonna get traveling hair. It's too much pressure on the scalp. And that's where you can really get yourself into a world of hurt. So basically extensions and protective styles for too long. They're great for a month or two, but anything longer than that, you really are gonna get into like traction alopecia, getting your hair ripped out. It's just not a good look. No more than 4 to 6 weeks. It's so important. Doing too tight of hairstyles day in and day out. If you want to do a Sophia Richie slick back bun, just like a fashion girl, like gel, little center part, slick, slick, slick back bun, I love a half up, half down. I love a slick back bun. I love just pull it so tight. But if you wear your hair like this every day, or you overdo how tight your hair is every single day, or even like 3 days a week, you're gonna cause traction alopecia. You are going to rip your hairline out. It is going to move back. Your hair has to be down like this with no pressure on your hairline more than what it's not. So if you're wearing your hair slick back, tied back up every single day for work, and that's the only style you know how to do at home, you have got to learn how to do a different style. Even just having a side part and wearing it down is better because you're not like having it all travel back and slick it back so hard. So just too much tension on your hairline or really anywhere in the hair is a really good way to up your hair. Blondes. This is a big one for you, but this is true for everyone, but especially blondes. Jumping into the pool with nothing in your hair. Like jumping into the pool with dry hair. If you're really blonde, your hair is gonna go green if that pool is chlorinated. It is so important that you wet your hair down before you get into the pool, and for extra bonus credit, put in some leave-in conditioner or some actual conditioner over your hair before you jump in the pool. That green hair thing is really hard to get out once it's in there. It's not good. So if you're investing a lot of money in your highlights, please take care of your hair at the pool. That is such a big deal. Oh, also redheads. If you color your hair red, if you're not a natural redhead or any sort of like, really any color that's not your natural hair color, it's going to be very prone to fading in and around chlorine. So wet your hair down in the shower or the sink, put in a leave-in conditioner or just a full-on conditioner, and that's just, it's going to protect you much more. And then as soon as you get out of the pool, rinse your hair again and put in some more conditioner. You just don't want the chlorine chilling in your hair all the way. And if you can wet your hair down with not pool water and conditioner, it's going to take up all the space in your hair so that chlorine can't get in there as much, and it's going to protect it more. So that's kind of the science behind that, but yes, queen. The biggest thing, and I say it all the time, not using heat protection. If your hair will not grow past a certain point, but you don't use heat protection and you sleep with your hair down, that is why. So sleep with your hair up, silk scrunchie, silk bonnet, silk pillowcase. Sleeping with your hair down, that is the best way to up your hair as far as the misuse, overuse sorts of hair injuries. Sleep with your hair, and not tight up, not the snatchback pony, just a loose little top bun. That's how we need to do it. It's so important, y'all. So that's another way to mess up the hair. If you do wear a tight pony or a half up, half down, or a really tight bun, do not go to sleep with your hair like that. You have got to take it down, rub your hair a little bit, just kind of massage out that feeling of like of tension from the pony, and then you can loosely regather it back on top of your head. But do not go to sleep with a snatched ponytail or a half up, half down, updo. Do not do it. And also, if you are a clip-in extension person and you cannot do it yourself, but you get your clip-ins done at the salon and then you're like, oh, let me just sleep on it because I can keep it for tomorrow. Do not do that. Do not sleep in clip-in extensions. It's not a good look. Don't do it because we've teased your hair and we've hairsprayed and we've clipped it into that little pillow. We don't want that just sitting there for like 10 hours. It's not good for the hair. So don't do that either. Sunin. Spraying Sunin into your hair, that's a good way to fuck it up too. You might be okay, but you also might turn your hair orange. It really depends on how dark your hair is to start with and what your goal is. So being like overly confident with Sunin or lemon juice or peroxide, beware. And beware of anyone who tells you to do that on social media as well. Now this one is for our coily, kinky, curly hair, wavy haired friends. Not having enough product or not having your hair be wet enough when you're starting to style it. That is just going to give you the frizz. It's not, so just using not enough product and not enough water on curly, wavy, kinky hair, it's just not going to turn out the way that it could. So that's a really important thing.